Hello students, once again, hope in God's grace you all are fine and enjoying a good health. In this video, I am going to explain the third poem of your textbook in English class 12th, Flamingo, Keeping Quiet by Pablo Neruda. This video is going to be so beneficial for you and you cannot afford to ignore. You are requested to watch this video till the end. And if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, kindly subscribe now. And also, don't forget to like the video in the end. You can find the links for all my videos in the description box below. Explanation of all the chapters and poems, the writing section part, important literary devices, and so on. Almost everything you can find there. Now let's first of all take a glance of Pablo Neruda. Pablo Neruda is the pen name of Neftali Ricardo Reyes Basoalto. He was born on 12th July 1904 in the town of Perel in Chile. His father was a railway employee and his mother was a teacher who died shortly after his birth. Neruda's poems are full of easily understood images which make them beautiful. He won the Nobel Prize for Literature in the year 1971. In this poem, Pablo Neruda talks about the necessity of quiet introspection and creating a feeling of mutual understanding among human beings. The meaning of introspection is self-examination, analyzing yourself, looking at your own personality and actions, and considering your own motivations, or in short, to look within. In this poem, Keeping Quiet, the poet talks about the importance of quiet introspection. Introspection can bring a big change to the life of an individual and also to the entire face of the earth. He says that it does not take much time to look within and examine oneself. The poet wants the people of the earth not to talk in any language but to maintain silence while introspecting. He says that the sudden moment of silence will be an exotic moment or an unusual moment when all would become silent together. This would definitely be the most desirable moment for the survival of human beings and to create a world of peace and togetherness. We'll be able to come out of selfishness and cruelty. And by examining himself, the man will be able to bring peace not only for himself but also for the entire world. There will be no wars and all men will live like brothers. And now let's study the poem in detail. First 10 lines of the poem. Now we will count to 12 and we will all keep still. For once on the face of the earth, let's not speak in any language. Let's stop for 1 second and not move our hands so much. It would be an exotic moment, without rush, without engines. We would all be together in a sudden strangeness. And in these lines, the poet wants the people of the world to think about the value of quiet introspection. All the time, people are busy in finding faults in others. But he appeals to the people of the world to examine themselves and to stop finding faults in others. Since many of us do not know how to introspect ourselves, so he gives a golden rule to the people of the world, that is, maintaining silence first and then to introspect, since we can examine our inner thoughts only when we maintain a complete silence. He does not want the people of the world to maintain silence for a very long time. He says he will count to 12 and we are supposed to keep still for that much time only. That is hardly for a few seconds. He specifically takes number 12 because there are 12 units or 12 divisions in a clock. He appealed to the people of the world not to speak in any language for some time, and during this short time they should also not make any physical movement. When all the people of the world will be silent in togetherness, then it will be an unusual moment or an exotic moment. No hurrying noises of machines or engines. All the people of the world will be doing this with the spirit of togetherness, and therefore suddenly they will experience a strange feeling of togetherness, as all of them will be doing the same task together. Now the next 10 lines. Fishermen in the cold sea would not harm whales, and the man gathering salt would look at his hurt hands. Those prepare green wars, wars with gas, wars with fire, victory with no survivors, would put on clean clothes and walk about with their brothers in the shade doing nothing. In these lines, the poet wants to say, when all the people of the world do this exercise of being silent and introspecting, then the fishermen in the cold sea will stop harming whales. This also symbolizes the people who are always busy in earning money by causing pain or harm to others. They will stop harming others for their selfish motives. Fishermen will fish only that much as is necessary for their life and not more than that. The man gathering salt will also stop and look at his hurt hands because of the incessant activity of collecting salt. People who always keep seeking fresh wars will stop suddenly. The green wars against environment, wars with poisonous gases, and wars with firearms will be stopped all of a sudden. In such wars, victory is meaningless as there are no survivors left after the war. Big number of people die in such wars. Instead of fighting and going for wars, people should come out in their best dresses. Dresses of love, togetherness, and brotherhood. They should go out for a walk with their brothers. They will move about under the shade and enjoy doing nothing or without harming each other. In other words, all fights end when people find time for introspection. And now, next 11 lines. What I want should not be confused with total inactivity. Life is what it is about. I want no truck with death. If we were not so single-minded about keeping our lives moving and for once could do nothing, perhaps a huge silence might interrupt this sadness of never understanding ourselves and of threatening ourselves with death. Pablo Neruda does not want the people of the earth to be confused stillness with total inactivity. He wants to say that silence and calmness should not be understood as absolute inactiveness. He wants to say that we should keep our lives moving. The poet says, I want no truck with death, meaning no dealing with death, or I do not advocate death. The poet is very clear in his message when he speaks of taking a short break to introspect. Men become sad when they fail to understand themselves. They seem to be helpless when they threaten themselves with death. Introspection is the only way to avoid such a death-like situation. Now, the last 5 lines of the poem. Listen to this. Perhaps the earth can teach us, as when everything seems dead and later proves to be alive. Now I will count up to 12 and you keep quiet and I will go. In these lines, the poet teaches to take a lesson from the earth. The earth teaches a wonderful lesson that how everything comes to death and then comes to life again. On the surface, it seems nothing is happening. It seems dead. But underneath the surface, something is taking birth. A beautiful and amazing life, which means that there can be life behind stillness. So, after a little silence and a little stillness of introspection, the people of the world can get back a beautiful life, a better life with fresh and renewed energy, feeling of contentment, love, and brotherhood. And after this, the poet says, now I will count up to 12 and you keep quiet and I will go. So, after giving this clear message to the readers, the poet will count up to 12 and we shall keep still and introspect during that time. And when the poet's purpose is solved, that is, he wants us to introspect. He says he will go since he fulfilled his purpose. I hope that this poem is understood. And to understand this poem fully, kindly watch this video at least twice. Please like, subscribe and share. Thank you so much for watching.